Well, I got the back end of the Outback jacked up this morning. Testing out some calipers. Slide pins are seized. Piston retracted nicely on both sides though, so that's confidence. But slide pins are seized, so gonna get these calipers pulled off of here, get the brackets off, see if we can free those up, and we'll go from there. Also need to try and get a hold of somebody to come over here and help me diagnose the wheel bearing. They're not loose, they're just making noise, so I'm gonna have to get it supported on stands and have somebody run it on stands so that I can listen to it and go from there. But yeah, I'm gonna start playing with the brakes because it's something that I can for sure do at the moment. So gonna get them calipers and brackets off of here, and we'll bring them in the garage and see if we can get those pins freed up and hopefully reuse them.
3 hours later.
Well, been a couple hours now, but was able to get all these slide pins all nicely freed up. Everything working good. Both sides. Also ran to O'Reilly's. Picked up some pads and rotors, so we are good to go. We can get new brakes thrown on the rear here. But I want to diagnose the bearing first, and well, I need somebody else to come over so that I can listen to the bearings while they run it for me. So in the meantime of waiting for somebody, I think it's time to pull up, guess what? Another project that's been on the back burner waiting for parts. Finally got all the parts for the white Outback hiding over here, so I'm gonna get it drug up over here and start throwing the timing back together on that thing. So time to get a white Subaru up here. All right, Subaru Outback number 2 is in place. Well, technically this might be number 1 and that'd be number 2 because we started this one way before we got that one. I don't know, look at that however you want to. But time to start getting this thing put together. Get this old cracky belt off that we put on it just to find out if this motor was good. Because if you didn't watch the last video of picking up this car and diagnosing it, this snapped the timing belt and it's still good. Apparently some variants of these EJ22s are non-interference. So yeah, this one somehow survived the ordeal. So we're going to be getting new timing kit, everything thrown on here, new water pump, all the fun stuff. So yeah, gonna start on that. We'll get her torn down and get this thing all back together so my buddy can come pick it up. we are all back together finally, so time for me to clean up all my tools, call it a night, pick up some coolant for this tomorrow, get this thing all wrapped up, and we can send her home. So very happy. Time to go relax, take a break for the night, and
The next day.
all right, new day, working on this old 97 Outback again. Just got the coolant all topped off, gonna let that burp for a little bit, and I think I'm gonna pull the starter out of it and go compare it to my extra starters, see if I have one that's the same, and get a starter swapped out on here, because this thing cranks very bad. So hoping it's just a starter issue. That's the easiest thing to try. I don't have any amp clamps or anything here to check the amp draw on it, so we're just gonna do the simple route. We're gonna unbolt it, swap it out with another one, and see what kind of improvements we get. So as you know, Subaru starters are down yonder. 214 bolts, 12 mil for the terminal going to it, and unclip them. So I'm gonna get that thing out of here and go find out if I got another one, and I'll show you what we figure out.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Well, this darn weather is intermittently sprinkling on me, but got our old starter out, got a new starter laying there. It's a little bit shorter, but everything else is the same on it, so gonna chuck her in here and hope for better results than the one that's currently in it. So hopefully the rain holds out for a little bit longer. So gonna get this chucked in here.
10 seconds later.
All right, new starter is in. Find out if this random old starter's been on my bench is still good. With any luck, it cranks faster, or we did not get an improvement at all, and then I'll sit here and wonder if I try another one. Alrighty. Oh, that's a lot better crank. This thing still starts weird. It's definitely got a dead hole. It just has that pause. Right there, yeah. This thing's got a dead hole, I feel like. But starter is an improvement, so that is the main thing we're looking for. Start letting her suck down some of this coolant now, and done. Get this thing back home. So next thing's up, we're gonna jump back on the Outback for a little bit tonight, as long as, you know, this weather stuff holds out, as it starts kind of sprinkling again. So either way though, this thing's all wrapped up. Get her home, say goodbye to the 97 Outback.
The next day.
Time to work on this again. Picked myself up a wheel bearing, that little guy right there. So I gotta figure out which wheel bearing it is in the rear of here, and well, still got nobody around to help me, so I think I'm just gonna jack up the front, start the car, put it in gear, and listen with my stethoscope and see if I can decipher it that way without having to give it too much RPM. If not, I can jab a stick in there, maybe get it to rev up slowly and give it some speed. But we're gonna do whatever we can here. So diagnose this wheel bearing, that way we can get this car done and shipped out of here. So time to jump right into it. All right, see what happens. See what happens. Freaking batteries. All right, try it again. To compress the rear pistons a little bit, because I hit the brake, pushed them out. Luckily, I did not pop the pistons, so press them in a little bit, gonna stick 2x4s in them, then we can put it in gear. So gotta compress these back in a little bit, because I hit the brake And you don't want to do that when your calipers are like this. So, press them back in a little bit, stick a 2x4 in them. That is your best case scenario to not pop your piston out. So, gonna hope that that guy will just stay like that. And we'll do the other side. See if this will just fit in there. As is. Just shy. And it's starting to sprinkle on me. So, get this done quickly. At least these calipers are good. They go in really nice, so. Set her up there. And 2x4 ya. Alright, that should hopefully be enough to get this thing put in gear. Dang rain. So, pump up our brake. We are in gear. Here we go. Definitely not turning very fast. These also have the wheel spacers on them because these are 5x114 rims, so that's holding the drum or the rotor on tight so that we don't have to really worry about bolting wheels back up to hold everything tight. So, see what we can figure out here. Alright, I think it might be this passenger side, but I'm gonna have to up the speed just a tiny little bit to actually figure this out, so wish me luck. 2x4 though. Seems pretty controlled. Let's see what we got this time. Well, if I was going to be honest, they both kind of make noise, but the passenger side's the worst, so let's chuck a bearing in that side and hope that it's quiet enough just to get rid of this thing and the next person can deal with it, right? Maybe? Used car salesman. And it's raining. Fucking rain. Yeah, she's fine.
The next day.
Well, it is time to get back after it. Got to get this wheel bearing out of this passenger side of the old Outback here, so gonna jump into it. It is not raining currently, even though it's supposed to later, so well, see what we can get done and just hopefully we get this out and done today. It's not raining. The only trade-off is it's freaking cold. Fall has fully set in and it is coming with a vengeance, it feels like, this year. So I got a lot of stuff I still need to get done in this driveway before it fully sets in, so let's get this one knocked out. I will say, that went very well. So we are ready to actually throw the brakes back together on this thing, get it back on the ground, go for another test drive, and this thing might be ready to ship. So, heck yeah, very exciting stuff. Come back after work and we'll take care of the brakes now, so good stuff.
3 hours later.
Finally, time to get back to work on this Outback. I think it's been about 3 days now since I put that wheel bearing in it. It's just been raining and cold and not fun. And we've played with the drift car, so that'll be a fun video. But either way, you know, it's finally a nice day. Blue skies, a little bit of clouds, but time to finally get the rear brakes thrown on this thing. Like I said, the wheel bearing's already in it. So we will get the brakes thrown on, get rid of these awful parking brakes. I think the cables are messed up in this car anyway, and it's an automatic, so nobody's ever going to use the parking brakes. So don't need to worry about that. We'll get this side knocked out, take the rest of this side apart and get it knocked out and go for another test drive in this thing. So let's make it happen. Well, been fighting to get the rotor on. This lip that they put in here is all a seam that's up against another flat of this knuckle. So what happens is they get rust behind them and it pushes it out, and you can see where it's rubbed through here. It's actually from the back side of the rotor here, rubs on it like that and pushes its way through as the rust builds in there and pushes this out. So put the new rotor on, and because it's not self-clearance to what was going on there, I couldn't spin it. So I just had to remove this whole edge of the whole backing plate just so I could get this rotor to spin on this hub again. And yes, it is the correct one. Darn Subarus are they just don't rust well. So this is a really clean car, but it sat for a while. So sadly, that stuff is going to happen when a vehicle sits around. So gonna get this side thrown together now, and hopefully we don't run into too many of the same issues on the other side. So let's get to it. Rear end is finally back together, so time to throw some wheels and tires back on it, clean up my mess, and we'll have this thing back on the ground shortly. But you're lucky, it only takes a second for you. Alright, all ready to go. Time to fire this thing up, and I God, hope that there's no more wheel bearing noises, that no more brakes fall apart, and that no more brakes leak. So let's do it. Get this thing going. Get rid of my 2x4 that was my cruise control for a moment. Comfort. So far, she's looking good. Put on my seatbelt so it don't ding at me, these darn new cars. all pumps up and is good. Let's do it. Sounds silent so far, just backing up, so that's a bonus. All right, let's hit the road. Not too bad so far. Seat these brakes into a couple nice stops with it. Yeah, thing's driving good actually. Money. No shake from the brakes, no noise, no wheel, no, a little noise turning to the left there. Hopefully that lady doesn't back out in front of me. Heck yeah, overall, car finally feels good. I'm gonna do a nice little loop that I always do with all the cars to you know, little break-in loop, make sure they're good. So yeah, I'll check in when I get back, but very happy with how this thing feels so far. It's actually silent, it's driving good, so feels like a Subaru. I think it's time to throw a hood and a grill on it and we can get this thing shipped on its way. Yeehaw.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Well, test drive went very good. Car drives great. Do have a slight little noise on the left-hand side when you turn to the left. Kind of a little sh noise, so gotta look into that a little bit, but mess around with that another day. I really want to get this hood and stuff on here, so I'm gonna tinker with that. Would be nice to have a hand, but I got no one around, so I'm gonna mess around with that. I've done plenty of hoods and stuff by myself, so I'll figure it out. We'll get her on there, get the hood on, and we'll start putting this grill in, and this thing's gonna look, ooh, she's gonna look good. So start working on that next.
10 seconds later.
Well, if you want to pop the hood, I forgot I took it for a test drive. Grab the hood. I guess I'll put this support up quick. I gotta disconnect the washer there. Is there a washer thing on the other end? Oh. Good question. There we go.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's got up to the white piece. Yeah. So yeah, it's got that white piece. And it's got behind everything.
Yeah. Alright, you want to prop with that one? I'll do my two and then I'll hand it to you. You can do your two. Should I do the bottom first? Or it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess this one doesn't really matter.
The main thing is, when these ones slide down, they don't hit the windshield.
Oh, that's a bonus.
I've broken a couple of windshields taking hoods off.
Ready?
Yep. Yeah, that socket also does not stay on there. So we'll just go in the dirt here.
Hey, sheet metal.
Yes, more body filler.
Do you have to do any like alignment with this?
No, think they're pretty solid where they're at. I don't think there's much movement.
Zap mine anyway.
Yep, go for it. I got mine started, so as long as you got yours started. Hood action. Yeah, I'll cut that off quick.
No
Oh,
need.
no need.
No
Perfect.
need. I'm so good.
Right.
Test alignment. Oh, this is going down a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, don't push it.
I was gonna bend it up. I want to heat it so it doesn't crack the paint anymore.
The paint's only slightly cracked, so if I heat it up, I can probably bend that up without cracking it. That's why I got a discount on this hood.
For that?
Yes.
For that?
See if this side can maybe push the fender in. I mean, that's really good for just bolting it up.
Yeah.
It's got good.
This side's good. Oh yeah. Maybe a little tight in there, but.
Let's see if we can loosen it and shift it over just a slight bit. Yeah. Where did I set impactage?
Oh, that one did not make it very well.
You didn't really make it.
There's not really much movement. No, not really.
I'm gonna hold it off to this side, so you just tighten yours. It might be in the alignment of this fender because it does have a ding there. So this fender could be maybe pulled
Yeah.
out slightly, right there.
Yeah, it could be.
It had a front end hit of some sort.
Yeah.
So see if that made it any better.
Not really.
But,
It looks
yeah.
pretty similar. It's probably just have to do the old
Massaging chiropractor back
there you
into
go.
place. It'll get there. Anyway,
Hey, look at that.
good hood. Now I'm gonna play around with putting a grill in there. So, minty.
Later.
All right, grill is in, hood is on. Got to clean all the salvage yard numbers off the hood, but ooh, beautiful. This thing is all ready to go. The only thing it's missing is this little tow hook cover, but you know, pretty minor detail. Thing looks great though. Nice to have this thing fully together. Time to have my personal detail guy over there. He's over there cleaning the drift car for me for local car meet today. But he's going to take care of this thing for me one of these days here, and we'll have her looking good and ready to go for getting this thing up for sale soon. So that might conclude the videos on the old Outback here. So not going to see this thing around too much longer. She will for sure be going bye-bye soon. India right, he's a dog. Yeah, he's a big old doggy. Good stuff.